The terrain you're on isn't just where you stand, it's part of the game. Every environment has its ups and downs, strengths and weaknesses. The key is figuring out how to use the terrain to your advantage instead of fighting against it. Many people struggle because they fail to see the potential their environment holds. They try to force situations without realizing true power lies in adapting and leveraging the natural opportunities the terrain provides. Once you start seeing terrain as your ally, everything changes. It's no longer an obstacle, but a platform you can strategically use to your benefit. Real strategy isn't about having all the resources or the perfect plan. It's about making the most of what you've got, of what's already within reach. Every rock in your path, every unexpected challenge can become a stepping stone if you know how to position yourself. Now, imagine what happens when you start working smartly with the terrain you have. You move forward while others stay stuck, trying to force results they'll never achieve. When you learn to explore the terrain, adapt, and position yourself strategically, victory becomes inevitable. So, what would you do if you knew you already had everything you need to win? You'd start playing the game of life in a whole new way. The terrain you're in isn't just a backdrop where things happen. It's a powerful ally waiting to be used. What you do with the space around you can make or break your success. Most people see obstacles where there's potential. They get frustrated, freeze up, and try to force things the wrong way. But those who understand the importance of terrain know every challenge hides an advantage just waiting to be unlocked. The trick is recognizing that even imperfect terrain has everything you need to succeed if you know how to use it. Picture yourself facing a huge challenge. Instead of fighting what's around you, you take a step back and analyze the environment, noticing what it has to offer. The terrain doesn't need to be flawless to work in your favor. A muddy battlefield, for instance, might slow the enemy down, giving you the edge. Similarly, a tough situation in your life might feel full of limitations, but you can turn them into strengths and find smarter ways to move forward. You don't need to change the world around you, just the way you see it. Every boulder in your path can become a stepping stone if you use it right. Nature won't change, but your ability to use it to your advantage can transform everything. Every weakness, every difficulty you face has a way to be navigated if you adjust your strategy. Instead of fighting the conditions you can't control, you learn to work with them. Real strength comes from understanding that terrain isn't an obstacle, it's a tool, an opportunity to adapt and push forward. When you start leveraging the natural advantages of your surroundings, you see the world differently. Everything around you has something to offer, even if at first glance it seems like a roadblock. The secret lies in realizing life is about choices, and you can use everything you've got to keep moving forward. The terrain is your ally, if you know how to use it. Life isn't a straight road. It's an unpredictable terrain full of twists, turns, and unexpected challenges. True strategy isn't about forcing your way through whatever's in front of you. It's about figuring out how to adapt to the terrain you've got. Every situation, every environment has its own rules and advantages, but mastering them requires you to switch up your approach and mold your strategy to the circumstances. There's no one-size-fits-all formula. What works in one terrain might fail miserably in another. It doesn't matter how strong you are or how much you plan, the terrain will test your expectations. But here's the kicker, real power lies in your ability to adjust when needed. A leader who knows how to adapt their strategy to different contexts isn't just someone who understands their environment. They're someone who moves with agility without losing their way. Instead of fighting the resistance of the terrain, they learn to use it. Every rock, every twist in the road can become a strategic advantage if you know how to adjust your steps. This ability to adapt doesn't come from being passive. It's not about settling for what's in front of you. It's about working with what you've got. If you cling to the same strategy no matter the terrain, you'll fail. But if you learn to read the signs around you, understand the strengths of the environment, and adjust your moves, you'll turn difficulties into opportunities. The terrain becomes your ally when you learn to navigate it, use it, and shift your behavior to match the situation's demands. When you adjust your strategy to fit the terrain, you gain a massive edge. It takes patience, keen observation, and the courage to let go of what's not working. You can't hold on to rigid ideas because constant adaptation is what keeps you moving forward. In the end, success isn't just about knowing where you're standing. It's about how you adapt, adjust, and win with what you've got. And remember, every terrain, no matter how tough, holds the key to your victory. You just need to learn how to unlock it. Knowing the environment around you is one of the biggest advantages you can have. No matter what's happening, your ability to leverage what you already know can completely change the course of a battle. Often, the difference between winners and losers isn't what they have, it's how they use what's already available. The terrain, the space you're in, has more to offer than you realize. Every street, every corner, every element of the environment holds potential if you know how to tap into it. When you understand the local terrain, you see opportunities where others see obstacles. Maybe it's a curve in the road, a hidden area, or a higher ground. These little details, often overlooked, can be game changers. Imagine you're in the battlefield of your life, at work, in a relationship, or facing any challenge. If you know how to move efficiently and use your knowledge of the environment to position yourself better, you'll stay one step ahead. This knowledge puts you in control, allowing you to make strategic moves that throw others off balance. Local knowledge isn't just about the physical space, it's also about understanding the dynamics of the people around you. If you know how they react, what they fear, and what motivates them, you can use that to your advantage. Surprising someone doesn't mean being erratic. It means using what you already know to act smart and strategically. You're on familiar ground, so use that to make your actions inevitable. Whether it's an opponent or an obstacle, nothing stands a chance against someone who knows the path they're walking. When you master the terrain, you're no longer at the mercy of circumstances. You become the one in control, able to create moves no one expects. In the end, it's not just about being in the right place, it's about knowing what to do with it. The terrain is your ally, but you've got to be sharp enough to squeeze every bit of advantage out of it. Every terrain has its weak points. Every place, every situation comes with vulnerabilities that can challenge or even defeat you. But here's the question. What do you do with those weaknesses? Most people see a difficulty and panic, feeling helpless. They get stuck in the problems, failing to realize that weaknesses can actually be the keys to victory. When you learn how to minimize the terrain's weak points, you're not just adapting, you're turning those vulnerabilities into advantages. It doesn't matter where you are, whether it's at work, in your personal life, or facing your own fears, everyone has weak points. The secret lies in how you handle them. Instead of going head-to-head with them, what if you minimize their impact? It could be a small tweak, a shift in how you approach a challenge, or even repositioning yourself to avoid being vulnerable. The ability to reduce the effect of weaknesses can be more powerful than trying to eliminate them altogether. Minimizing the terrain's weaknesses isn't about chasing perfection. It's not about erasing all flaws, but managing the ones that come up. You can't change everything, but you can change how you interact with what you can't control. This strategy isn't about being invincible. It's about being smart enough to capitalize on what you've got. When you start seeing weaknesses as opportunities for adjustment and growth, you stop being a victim of the terrain and start mastering it. Understanding where the terrain is most vulnerable lets you position yourself strategically so those weaknesses don't drag you down. By minimizing flaws, you're not just protecting yourself, you're strengthening your position. And when you do that, you realize that instead of fighting the terrain, you're using it to its fullest potential. Terrain isn't just the stage where battles are fought. It's the ground that can make or break your success, depending on how you use it. Holding strategic positions doesn't mean being untouchable. It means staying in control no matter how tough things get. Strategic positions allow you to see the big picture, react quickly, and avoid being blindsided. When you secure a strong position, you're already one step ahead of anyone trying to challenge you. Maintaining a stronghold takes constant vigilance. The world around you is always shifting, and what once seemed like a solid advantage can quickly become a risk. That doesn't mean you should be rigid or stuck in your ways. Instead, you need to stay alert and be ready to adjust your position when necessary. The goal is to always stay on the move, constantly repositioning to ensure you remain in control, no matter what's happening around you. Mastering a strategic position creates a comfort zone, not the kind that makes you complacent, but one that keeps you steady and focused under pressure. It could mean emotional control, staying calm and balanced even in chaos. Or it could mean being in command of your actions, knowing exactly how to respond to surprises without losing sight of your objectives. The secret is not letting external turbulence shake you. The advantage lies in how you center yourself and act decisively. Holding your ground strategically ensures you're ready to act when the right moment comes. It's about choosing the battlefield, preparing the resources you need, and always being a step ahead. Most importantly, it's knowing that when you stay in control of your position, you create the kind of terrain where victory is more than likely, it's inevitable. In any battle, the one who controls the key points and supply lines controls the war. What does this mean for your life? It's simple. You need to identify the resources that matter most and make sure they're always within your reach. This goes beyond physical control. It's about understanding where your true sources of power lie and keeping them accessible when you need them most. Whether it's in your job, relationships, or personal challenges, strategic points are what keep you moving forward. It's easy to get caught up in day-to-day tasks and short-term goals, but real strength comes from knowing what your foundation is and keeping it intact. You have to recognize what truly matters and ensure that your resources, whether it's time, energy, relationships, or knowledge, are always protected and accessible. If you fail to secure these key points, you weaken yourself. And when that happens, any unexpected setback or challenge can derail your progress. However, controlling supply lines isn't about being selfish or isolated. It's about being smart enough to prioritize what's essential for your growth. This could be your skills, connections, or even your mental and physical health. When you have control over these resources, you place yourself in a position where you're not easily knocked down. The secret to keeping these strategic points safe is constant vigilance, adaptability, and unwavering focus. When you know where your strengths lie and safeguard them, you build a solid base for continuous progress. True victory doesn't come from controlling everything. It comes from knowing your vital points and ensuring they're always within your grasp. When you master this, the battle is never truly lost. It simply shifts direction, and you remain in control. When you master the terrain around you, you're no longer a hostage to circumstances. You become the strategist who uses every aspect of the environment to your advantage. No matter where you are or what challenges arise, the terrain, when understood, always offers an edge. True victory doesn't come from brute force, but from knowing where and how to position yourself to turn every difficulty into an opportunity. The secret to winning without fighting lies in adapting your strategy to the terrain, recognizing its natural advantages, and minimizing its weaknesses. You don't have to change the world around you. You just need to learn how to use what it offers. Every step, every move can be optimized when you understand the dynamics of the space you're in. Once you master this, victory becomes inevitable. In the end, the terrain is your greatest ally. When you learn to use it, you start moving forward with confidence and strategy, without wasting time battling what you can't control. The true leader knows their greatest strength lies in playing the game with what they have, and always using the terrain to their advantage.